Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live broadcast. I make these videos to document my journey as a startup founder. I'm building my own AI search app and a platform from scratch. I quit Google a couple of years back, maybe a little over 2 years back, to build this. And I'm sort of in the end game. This is episode 52. And I'll keep making these videos to share my journey, how am I building it, and what are some of the challenges I'm facing. Today, I'm talking about AI coding. Obviously, I'm using AI coding like everyone else, but I think I've elevated um, how you can use AI coding to the next level, and I want to show you what I mean by that. So, basically, my goal is to not use AI coding directly, but have me turned into an agent myself, and that AI agent can then work with other AI agents who are actually doing the development. So the idea is like you're building a sort of a little small startup with different roles that are fulfilled by AI agents. Now, this is not new. There are a lot of apps or libraries um, that exist. I wanted to build something of my own, and so I built it from scratch because I wanted full control. I wanted to see how it works behind the scenes because I built it, and I wanted full control to change it because I have very specific needs, very, very, very specific needs, and chief among them is performance and latency and full control over which models are used and how this uh, basically what I call Agent OS works. So this is Agent OS. Let me show you sort of some of the commands this Agent OS supports. So you can see a bunch of them. It started just a real quick sort of a history lesson here. Um, I didn't intend to build this at all, really. I swear to God. What I wanted was I had to, I started with one terminal. I only use terminals. I don't use Cursor or any of the IDEs, even Visual Studio. I only use terminals. I love it because it gives me the full control. Like I said, I want all the control I can so that I can shape it and also get the have access to sort of the internals of the model to the like its thinking, etc. So I only use CLI. This is Western that I'm showing. It started with this need of me engaging with an AI coding agent like Claude or Codex, and then if I found out that one, I can have two agents or two coding sessions at the same time, one, say, example, working on the front end, the other working on the back end. This way, because I'm on the pro plan, I get a bunch of credits. I use all the credits. And because they're fairly separate areas, they can work in parallel. Why not? I mean, if I'm just working on the back end and just not doing anything on the front end, I have to do the work on the front end after the back end. And I'm a one-person company. And so for me, that means more time. And time is money for someone in my position because I have no income. I have no job. Uh, I'm the only person in my family who is trying to build something that can lead to some income. And so I have a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, and so time's important. But at the same time, I'm just not a person who likes to fan out and do a lot of things at same time without knowing the details and without having that control, because then I won't be proud of what I build, nor I'll know exactly how it works so that I can shape it to my vision. So the ultimate goal here is I have a vision. I want to work towards my vision with full control. And so I build something that I want versus build something I end up with. So it started with one coding session, then second coding session, then third terminal tabs, if you will, and then I needed a way to have them communicate with each other, and so I would copy something from one terminal tab to the other, uh, sometimes because they're collaborating, and ended up finding myself copy pasting a lot. And then I'm like, wouldn't it be great if I can just have one of these agents write something in say, a file, and then the other agent can just read from it. That's it. This is the seed of Agent OS. That's all I wanted. And I resisted building this because I thought it'll take time away from product development, because this is not my product. My product is AI search, like a Perplexity or like Google's AI mode, but this is something that I'm thinking how I would build this from scratch if I were to start today, which I did. How would you build it? How would you, what are the values? What would be the user experience? Um, all of that. I just so enjoy thinking about that problem and kind of shaping it how I want it based on sort of user-centric design. So idea being that this is going to be one of those companies, I hope, that makes decisions that benefit users and not investors. So that's why I have no investors, and I don't plan to get investment for the foreseeable future. So yeah, I ended up copy pasting from one terminal tab to the other, and then I wanted them to sort of just make that automated. It is kind of painful and annoying to copy paste, and also what to copy, kind of just painful. But as humans, we're not good at it. And so I then resisted the urge, and then finally jumped. I'm like, let's just give it a shot. It was like a weekend. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm in the mood. I got myself some wine. I'm like, all right, let's just try this out. And so I used, again, AI coding, another agent, another terminal. When I say, by the way, agent, terminal tab, LLM, I'm using these terms interchangeably. They're the same thing for me, because the way I use way I build this is I start open a new tab in my terminal and kick off either Claude or Codex. Um, so I had one of the agents write a message to a file, just a simple file. Hey, write it, put a marker, and then have the other agent read it. But then I immediately found out that it kept reading the same message over and over. So you need some kind of a read unread status. This is sort of the seedling, how something very simple, just the need to communicate, turned into what you're looking at. Look at all this thing. Oh my God. I can't believe we built this. So by the way, what you're looking at is genuinely night and day, blood and sweat work of, I want to say, at least 2 months working on this. I paused my product development, and maybe this time may not be the good may not end up being the right decision. I don't know. Pausing product development to build something that's just a facilitator, but the potential I saw as this sort of started shaping up was incredible. And so I went on and on and on. And then I came up, I was like, okay, how do you solve this? Sort of almost like an email, like inbox, read, unread status. And so I came up with this idea for marker. By the way, none of these ideas are new, or I'm saying I invented them. Like I said, there are lots and lots of platforms, lots of research papers written on this subject. I didn't have the cycles nor the brain power to read all the papers and use other libraries and find out how it works, and then run into some problems and then contact the developer. That would just completely be a waste of time for me. And I've had that experience in the past, so I wanted to avoid that. Here, I never get stuck. If I get stuck, I just write the code or make the change because I have full control. And I've developed Agent2 such that it's a separate folder in my repo, and with the idea that maybe I can open source it in the future. Sometimes I get dreams where I'm like, Agent2 will become the product and not my AI search, because it's so useful like now that I've come to know. Um, but let's see. Anyway, let me go a little more detail. So then came up with this idea for marker. So you have a marker where an agent can put literally a line in the file, like, oh, I read until this line, and then new messages are always appended at the bottom. And then when the AI agent reads, they're like, oh, I got something more to read. It reads the following piece of text and then moves the marker. I don't know this is a best practice. I don't know this is research backed. I don't know what other libraries do. Like I said, I didn't, but I don't think it's very innovative. It's like, I'm sure people did like coded like this in the 90s. So, but I'm proud of it because it's so simple. It worked. And from there, it came, there were some other problems where you had more than one agent reading it because I wanted to broadcast. Then I needed multiple markers, every agent with its own marker demarcated. Every agent had an ID, timestamps, things like that. And then file system ended up being a little bit of a problem. Then I'm like, maybe I should use SQLite. And then SQLite, I'm like, that's on my local computer. If I use my other computer, I'm stuck. So then I'm like, oh, maybe the SQLite can be in the cloud. Then I looked at Truce and Neon, and now I'm using Neon. Um, it's just on, and then I'm like, I mean, all of these things. Then you needed something like you see a bunch of ACK, so acknowledgement. One agent sent a message, and maybe the other agent needs an acknowledgement. For whatever reason, even though the agent can see the marker moving, sometimes there are decisions that one agent is asking the other agent. So it's not just a matter of I read your message, like you sent me a message, hey, let's go grab some drinks over the weekend. I can read your message and you get a notification I read your message, but that's not enough. You need an acknowledgement that, okay, not only I read the message, but either I will be coming for drinks over the weekend or not, right? Or maybe I may have a response like, oh yeah, let's do it, but instead of Saturday, can we meet on Sunday? Or instead of this place, can we meet on that place? And now you have this discussion. And so it's like slowly these things unraveled. And obviously I've built something that there are open source libraries and tools already built, but I'm so proud of it because I have full control. And this, what you see, is completely organically built. Nothing here is like extra. I had a need, I built it. Like you see something called relaying messages, you see roles, because sometimes on like one agent's like, okay, maybe it's the principal, one agent is um, like a subordinate, then there's something called health, there's something called peak, like you just want to peek at a message and not move the marker, the things like, and then there is locking, because more than one agent's trying to do something, like append to a file or write or something, and so now there's locking, there's all all kinds of things. I want to go in detail maybe in another video, but I wanted to start this video or record this video just to kind of show what what this has become, and maybe I can show quickly one of the tabs. Seems like, okay, my thing is stuck. Okay, I'm sorry. I think my screen sharing is stuck. So even though I'm changing, it's not changing. The screen sharing is not changing. So maybe I'll do a follow-up video on how I'm using all these Agent OS functionality. But in very simpler terms, what I can say is, think of Agent OS that I've built is like a tool available to LLMs. So Codex or Claude or what have you. Those are the two agents I primarily use, and I want to start using Kimi K3. So I've signed up for Kimi K3. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm on the wait list for Kimi K3. But those are any other coding LLM I've used, they've all been basically a failure. But there's something else you see on the top, like different cities, different locations. I talked about this in a previous video. So when you create a new tab for LLM coding or AI coding, again, we call it agents now. Um, you have to give it some kind of identifier. And so I'm just giving like places in the world. It's easy to remember and they're fun. So Copacabana and Marrakesh in Morocco and Shibuya in Japan, Sevilla in Spain, Jersey City, of course, in New Jersey. So, and then I can reference it and they become also IDs and things like that. So in the future video, I'll show you because I think my screen's stuck screen sharing. So I can't, even though I'm switching tabs, it's not picking up. So I'll do a second video anyways on how my AI coding uses Agent OS as a tool and all this functionality. And now it can relay a message. It can initiate a discussion. And I've seen one agent debate with other agent, and it's just so satisfying to see this in action. And I mix and match. So Agent OS is LLM agnostic. You don't need to use just Claude or just Codex or what have you. It's complete because it's just a Python. It's basically a suite of commands that are implemented in Python. And you can use any LLM. So I'm so proud of this, and it's simplified so much that 2 months, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks, 8 weeks, I don't exactly remember, but at least 6 weeks I've spent. I'm so proud of it because if I build something else in the future, I'll still now use this. I cannot live without Agent OS anymore. So yeah, that's it for today. I guess I shared a little bit of story, some of the commands, or the history behind Agent OS, why I built it. I never intended to build this ever, believe me. I resisted, and then all I wanted was messaging, and one thing led to another, and then and now this is what it is, and it's invaluable to me. And if it's helpful, I would absolutely love to open source this to help others. But it's so and I've kept it the agent as separate than what I'm building, which is AI search. So it has no understanding of what kind of app you build. So that's great. So it should be easy to open source in the future. But open source ends up it's a lot of responsibility because as soon as I open source, I'll get messages and bugs, which is all good. But I don't have the cycle. I'm a one-person company building. Think of it like a perplexity search, and so it's just not absolutely not the right time. So that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. This was a video I did after 2 or 3 weeks now. I mentioned in my previous video, we moved, we had a terrible experience. Our previous place was, it's basically a dump and so loud, and it's like living in the in the floor of a factory with machines going everywhere. It was just a nightmare. This is a much nicer place now, and I'd love to show you a tour once everything is set up of this place. I have a nice patio area. I can sit outside. And also I'm planning to travel a couple of weeks from now to kind of just get clear in my head after all this moving. Um, um, so yeah, it's been great. It's been the only thing is just loss of income on this journey. It hurts. 2 years of income is a lot. I had a very high pay package at Google. I used to work in Mountain View in the search org. Pretty good pay package. It hurts, but every time I come back to Agent OS, my own AI search, how it's shaping up some of the decisions. Like today, this morning, I'm working on how locale works. How do you understand user language, user location, so that I can personalize the response, and how can users change it in the most obvious way? It's very hard to do in Perplexity and Google. You can, I'm sure. I don't know how. At Google, I know some tricks, but it's so obvious to me that it needs to be solved. Like because when I travel to San Francisco, when I search, I may want San Francisco news or San Francisco personalized content because I'm searching for something, or where I'm living, and I need to. It has to be obvious, and I should be able to set it because people move around, and location affects, including language. If I'm speaking multiple languages, I may want to change the responses. Everything can be done in, ChatGPT, Perplexity. Google is so hard and settings and sometimes confusing. So I want to make it dead simple in your face, right here. Here's a bar. We use this language, this location for you. Um, if you didn't share, we're just using this very rough location, just kind of be privacy conscious. Like we'll know you're in California, and that's about it. And you can say you don't use that as well. So very simple things like that. I get to work on and design how I would have expected what I want. And the whole thing I'm building is going to be available as SaaS API. So that's the primary going to be source of revenue. I want other developers to build on this, what I've built. So cool. That's it for today. I'll see everyone in the next one. See ya. Ooh, apparently I don't know how to. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, there you go. I can now. Oh, now I can know. I can finish this. Something's off with this screen recording tool. I need to find a new one. Cheers.